Hi, everybody. Welcome to Revitalise Meets, where I get the opportunity to meet with business leaders and business entrepreneurs from across the global network. And today we've got the great pleasure to be with a business owner to find out about his challenges, his achievements, his golden top 3 tips of advice, and much more from over 17 years experience in the recruitment industry. Can you please join me today by welcoming Mr. Darren Aggasild from Rose Recruitment. Darren, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm very well, Lee. Thanks for that reminder. I've been in this industry for 17 years, mate. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, I'm good, and I hope you're well yourself. So.
Yeah, very well indeed. Thank you. Very well indeed. It's a pleasure to welcome you to Revitalise Meets, and really an opportunity to find out more about your business journey and to find out your challenges, your achievements, and what's been happening over the last 17 years plus, really. Can we first off start by looking at your business journey? And one of the biggest things I noticed, what we were talking about prior to today's meeting, was that Rose Recruitment was only established from 2003. So What was the transition for you, and when did that happen in that time for yourself, Darren?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I started in recruitment about 2004. I was in banking before that, Lee, and then got headhunted from the branch manager at Kelly Services on George Street in Aberdeen. And that was me transitioned into sort of recruitment and have been ever since. She left there about a year after to go to one of the oil and gas companies as a recruitment manager. So there was a post available there that she said, look, Darren, I think you should go for it. And we went along with another couple of consultants and stuff, and I was lucky enough to actually get it. So I've been in management for about 16 years of this 17-year trip of recruitment, Lee. So it's been a journey and a half, to say the least. So, I mean, I was 4 years with Kelly Services, loved it to pieces, was managing big contracts from sort of Perth up to the Highlands. So I was in Dingwall quite a lot, and in Inverness, Forest, down as far as Perth and Norwich Union down there. So it was massive contracts dealing with, multinational companies. It was great. And then we went into Adecco after that, one of the largest agencies in the world. And I honestly had an absolute ball there. We had such a good team. In Aberdeen, we were, we used to do cartwheels, Lee, when we done placements. And I used to sort of tell the team, you know what, if you hit an X figure, I'll do a handstand, I'll do forward rolls, I'll run around the Golden Square, doing certain stuff. And do you know what, Lee? They hit it. So I had to make a fool of myself a few times, but hey, that's recruitment for you, mate. We have a bit of fun, and we get on with it. And then I was lucky enough after Adecco to go to Entrust people in Rayburn, where I was an associate director and operations manager. And then when I was at Entrust, it was a great company, and people should look them up if they're ever in the life science area or needing some help. They're a brilliant company run by Ryan and Austin. And then I bought Rose. I knew Linda Rose from way back. So Linda Rose and the person who actually recruited me back at Kelly Services were friends, Lee, believe it or not. So I was coming up to my 40th birthday, and I said to the missus, I've got an opportunity, Linda Rose wants to leave the business. She wants to, just exit and, look after our mum and dad and things like that. So I sort of met with her, did all the due diligence around there. Luckily, my missus's dad's an accountant, so he did all the due diligence and said, yeah, that's fine, Darren, you can buy it if you want, as long as you can make a go of it. It was doing okay. It had all the right foundations, Lee. It just needed a bit of TLC, and it was a bit tired. That was all I would say about it. And then the transition, was interesting. So I bought it in the 2nd of July 2015. So I've been there ever since, and we've had a great team, a great opportunity to rebrand, as we'll talk about later on. So it made it feel more of my company rather than Linda's company. But yeah, the essence were there. It was a great company to sort of buy. And just before my 40th birthday was probably the right time, because, you know, I had over 11, 12 years in the industry, Lee, and it was time to sort of do it myself, if you know what I mean. So the transition was difficult, because of going from being a salary to actually owning a business and try and make money and make sure every element is covered is very difficult. And I'm probably going to paint that picture here, but the rewards are outweigh that, to be fair. So.
And it's a great result to have, and especially when you talk. I would love to see you do a cartwheel, by the way, and a handstand
Oh, yeah,
at the same
yeah.
time.
Can still do it at this stage, mate.
That'd be hilarious. But it's good to hear about that team ethos that you've had and the people that you've met, and it's that understanding of trust and an understanding of what you're looking to achieve. So it's great to hear that. But looking at your biggest achievements and challenges, I'd like to delve into that a little bit more now, if you don't mind. But you know, we talk about rebranding. And one of the biggest challenges that I see you overcame over the last few years was that you hit over 1 million turnover. So would you mind sharing the challenges of the rebranding and hitting the £1 million target? How did you achieve that?
Okay, so I mean, we'll start with the rebranding, Lee. I mean, where it was is that, you know, the branding that we had was gold colored before, and it was like a little man juggling some balls above his head. So yeah, I could understand you're juggling things in recruitment, you're juggling people, you're juggling clients and stuff. That the concept was good, but the gold didn't work because of trying to get that onto a letterhead or various different, you know, business cards or things like that, Lee, was so costly because you're using gold like leaf or foil or something along that lines. It was costing a fortune on that that side. So, but I think where the rebranding was, and where I've done this with sort of, I took the experience from different agencies, Lee, and just put them all together and thought, how do we make this company a bit more vibrant, a bit more personable to people? So what we did is we chose a fair few colors that we could use as different divisions and stuff, Lee. As you can see, we've got hospitality at back here, and we've got engineering, finance, commercial, and a few more to say the least. But what we did is we went with some core colors that work together. So pinks, Sion blue, a royal blue, you know, just vibrant colors. And what we did is that where people are, they've got their own personalities, Lee, and everybody's different. And in recruitment, you'll have different people from different industries and things that want to do different things. And people like colors. So I thought, if people can come into my organization and say, Darren, I want a pink card, I can get them a pink card, Lee. If they want a blue card, I can get them a blue card. Now, me being a Dundee United fan, as you can see here for my sins,
you had to show that, didn't you? You had to show that.
I wanted an orange card, mate. So, you know, these things we could go. And I did take this concept from somewhere else that worked quite well for them. And they were quite a fresh, funky kind of company, which was great. But where I wanted to do it was that we could have the concept of having rows like this, and the icon was there, but also we could put the divisions underneath it, which would allow me to add more divisions in time and not be settled on just rows recruitment. We did think about rows, but everybody that I spoke to doing the market research thought we sold flowers. So we went back to that concept and said rose recruitment. But yeah, it wasn't an easy journey. It took a long time for us to get to this stage. We went through so many different mock-ups and stuff and meetings. It was me. The team were involved in it as well. They got involved in sort of what do you like, what do you not like, do you like his colours and stuff, which was good, but it just added confusion to the mix, and it took so long to get, oh, I don't like your pink, I don't like your green, I don't. It's like, right, we'll make a decision and we'll move on. So we did that, and we launched it at one of the local networking events called Tubs. So it's the ultimate business show. So we launched it there, Lee. We had it up, and what we did is we had our a chef, one of our chef of the years, at the actual event cooking pancakes for everybody. So we had pancakes and Nutella and everything. So yeah, that was good. But then once we got to that stage, the business kind of turned around and was pointing in the right direction, because there was a bit of buzz around it and people were like, oh, what's he up to? What's he doing? You know, and it was more the talking around the rows and what they were up to. And, oh, have you got pancakes? You got this? And you tended to hear people coming through the grapevine asking, what's Mr. Aggasild up to? You know, what's he doing up there? And I think that led to us winning some business, but also hitting that, you know, over the £1 million turnover, Lee, which, you know, was a few years back, and we consistently continued along that lines until obviously COVID came along, which affected us. But the £1 million was a huge, huge hit for us, because it kind of took us from turning over about maybe 450 when I bought it, maybe to over 1.3, 4, 5 million pounds. So there was a huge shift in that. But the credit to the people that were working for us, they were knocking their pan in to try and push it. And, you know, we won big contracts, multinational contracts, which helped us, and we've still got them. So we're continuing to grow along that lines. And yeah, that's kind of where we managed to hit that £1 million. But it was just stay focused, get cracking. Every pound's, you know, going to hit that bottom line. And yeah, we partied hard. We had a lot of bottles of champagne that Christmas time, let's say. When I looked at the bill the next day, I was like, oh, did we spend that money? But hey, it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. So
I think what you look at as well with the team that you got and the achievements that you got at the tipping point is a word that I use quite a lot is consistency. Yeah. And you've had a consistency on your message. So when the rebranding happened, the penny sort of dropped with everybody who was watching it, and your team got behind the unison of the message that you were looking to deliver. So it literally made sense to everybody. I think every business gets to a point where you've got the message on point, you're delivering it, you're focused, you're driven, and you start delivering upon that message. So I think the takeaway from that over the last few years, and congratulations hitting that sort of like that turnover point, that sort of goal that you wanted to achieve, that challenge. But I think it came from what you've mentioned so far today, is a team effort and team unison, and everybody knowing exactly what they're aiming for. So that's really testament to you and the team that's around you. And it's worthwhile having a few bottles of champagne, I tell you.
Oh, yeah, it was.
So we've talked about the challenge, but I think also where we are at the moment in present times, how have you adapted your business over the last sort of 12 to 18 months? How have you moved it? How have you shaped it? And now how are you delivering that in a virtual world that we're living in right now?
Yeah, I think, you know, every recruiter out there or business owner has had to make sacrifices or changes over the last sort of 12 to 18 months, Lee, I think. And we are no exception, you know. I mean, we've got a big hospitality presence in Aberdeen, Glasgow, Edinburgh now. So it's, you know, we were hit quite hard back then. So we need to sort of refocus now, and, you know, with all that business we didn't have over the last year, but we also had the oil and gas that closed down as well. So there was kind of a double whammy there. We were doing really well in 2020 for the first quarter. We had a record January. February was very good, and March was looking exceptional until COVID came along on 23rd of March. I know it well because it's my missus's birthday, so I know exactly when it happened, what happened. So yeah, we had to transition a wee bit and move people back home, and and it was very difficult because all our clients were closely, and there was no real sort of when are they coming back, what's happening, what's going to happen there, with the contract catering and things, they're at the mercy of these oil and gas giants up here that, if they say you're not coming back on site, you're not coming back on site, But we were lucky. We had a number of contractors that were allowed to work from home. So they did that, and we were still managing to cover costs and things like that up until about the October time, when we had to make a couple of decisions, Lee. There was no business for certain areas, and unfortunately we had to make sacrifices there and let a few people go. But we transitioned into the sort of care homes, the care sector, so we moved into there. And we also looked at more sort of construction-based side of things, like street works, ground workers, that type of thing, so that we could sort of stable the ship and keep business coming through, which was consistent. I think the one thing that it's done is allowed me to look at the business and see where we're going to go in the future and how we're going to future-proof it. Because I think in recruitment, if you put your eggs in one basket, like a lot of the people unfortunately in recruitment or in the hospitality side, I've seen a lot of people go out of business over the last 12 months, Lee, which, they were running really, really good businesses. And unfortunately, through no fault of their own, they weren't allowed to open. And, you just feel for them people out there right now. But I mean, for us, it's more sort of focusing on new sectors or not new sectors, but developing the sectors we were touching around before sort of COVID came on. So we've got the IT side, technology side, which I was doing at Entrust before. So we're kind of pushing that into the central belt along with the finance side, Lee. But the big one for us is the energy sector. So the renewables, it's starting to gather speed, and people are transitioning from oil and gas engineering into the renewables. So that's a huge thing for us, and we're having a number of conversations just now around that. And how can we help new businesses survive and push themselves forward by maybe offering payroll services or doing their recruitment for them, rather than them getting caught up on getting new systems like Sage payrolls and stuff like that. We can do it for them, and we'll charge them a little percentage to keep them going, because the biggest thing I see is that if we can help companies just at the start, and as they grow, we'll both be profitable. We'll both, it's a win-win situation from us. So it's good.
Definitely. Good to adapt it and move it that way as well. And with everything that you're doing for all of the sectors that you've just mentioned there as well, from the care to construction.
Yeah.
For everybody who's watching and listening today, what would be your golden top 3 tips or advice when either applying or sourcing for a new role? What would be your top 3 golden top tips?
Yeah, okay, so top 3 tips. Number 1, find a good recruiter. I am available, so give us a phone. But yeah, I think there's thousands of good recruiters out there, Lee, and I think it's finding the one in your sector that's going to deliver for you or understands that sector in particular. Because what employers maybe don't know is that we're proactive in the market. So we will actually go and try and speak to candidates that are not on job boards. They're not looking just now, but we can create new positions for these people. And it just so happens that sometimes you strike gold. I mean, I was playing golf on a golf course once, funnily enough, and then this guy said to me, "Darren, do you know anybody that could do this job?" And I'm like, yeah, I've got 2 in my head right now. Then as soon as we left the golf course, Lee, it was, I'll make the calls. The next couple of days was interviews. The guy got placed and I got a massive fee. And he says, how do you know that guy? I says, because that's my job, to know where people are and what skills they've got. So that's number 1. Number 2, I think for any employer out there, I see this quite a lot, is that they've got really make things hard for themselves. I would say keep it simple. Recruitment's simple. It's not hard, but people overcomplicate things by using weird job titles, Lee, is the bad thing, but they don't understand that if you put that sort of job title on, so various different things, complicating things, that the candidates on the back of that don't get any emails to tell them that this job is live, because if it's an administrator, put administrator. If it's a sales position, put sales. Don't change the wording and stuff. It just confuses people, and you won't optimize your chances of getting candidates, basically, Lee. And so that's from there. But I think number 3 is showcase your company and let people see what you're doing on social media, LinkedIn, because candidates are drawn to that. So if you're not on social media or doing stuff like what we're doing just now, Lee, we're trying to, promote the company and get it out there and tell people what Rose Recruitment do. But a lot of these companies think that candidates should work for them, but they don't tell them why they should work for them, if you know what I mean. So that would be my number 3. I mean, for candidates and stuff, Lee, I think we've just launched a whole load of podcasts, and we've got some on CV Aberdeen as well. Excuse me, is the company that I look at as well. So I've got that in the background. So I mean, go on our YouTube channels, go on the podcasts that are live now, or even drop me an email or a message, which you'll get later on, and be happy to speak to you about it. So.
Definitely. Well, remember, everybody, grab your notebooks, jot these 3 areas down. Number 1, pick out your best recruitment specialist, i.e. Darren and the Rose Recruitment team. Number 2, keep it simple in a delivery. Keep it simple and straightforward. Don't try and overcomplicate it altogether. And number 3 is making sure that you're doing your research and you're showcasing your business so people actually know who they're recruiting and who they're going to be working for. Showcase the benefits of that company, who you are, if you're applying or you're sourcing for those careers and those jobs. So thanks for sharing those golden top 3 tips of advice there, Darren. Thank you so much. With everything that's going on, we've talked a lot about sort of challenges and achievements and, advice, etc.
Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself and your business through self-reflection, through training, or we talked about before about the golf, individual, meeting people? So what's been your learnings over the last sort of 18 months?
It's been a big learning curve for us. I think, with COVID hitting and me having young family, Lee, it's been an eye-opener in how things are in my world, or how I prioritize things. I think I was very much of, family comes first, business comes second. And, right now it's kind of flipped on its head, as business needs to come first so that family can survive and things. So I think the word resilience has been used in a lot of my Zoom calls, and people are like, how can you be so upbeat after the year you've gone through? Because I've been through quite a lot, having to leave my business to go on to look after my children, because my missus, she works full-timely and she runs facilities for one of the councils up here. So there was no way she could have even thought about, coming away, and they couldn't go get furloughed or anything like that. So I had to leave the business to look after the young children, and also homeschool, which, never again. No chance. I've learned one thing out of lockdown: I'm not a teacher. Never, ever will I become a teacher. Hats off to everybody that's a teacher out there. But I think the word resilience, we got there, we had to make redundancies, and then I lost my dad just before Christmas as well. So last year was one of the probably most challenging years I've ever had in my whole entire life, to say the least, Lee. But I think because I've got a passion about getting this business to where it is, I know what my end goal is. COVID's kind of changed that, and will maybe take another couple of years to get there. But we're looking at sort of putting things in place now that we can push the business forward, and we can sort of come to Glasgow, to Edinburgh, Manchester in due course, which, you know, the contracts are there. We just need the clients to go back on sites and pick a phone up to us, and we'll be down there soon. So hence why, you know, these podcasts and stuff are good, because they're going out to the right market, Lee, where we're heading. So yeah, I think, you know, the whole last 12 months and 18 months, there's a lot of people who are business owners or entrepreneurs who are trying to do things that they want to do, but it's just been restriction after restriction. But hopefully now, and hopefully, you know, Glasgow will become, you know, let free, should they say, in time. But it's been very good for sort of mental health up here, because some people were really struggling. And I'm not one that sort of will sit back and wait for things to happen. I need to go and get them. But God, you go up and down like a roller coaster. Last year was, you know, some highs and some really lows. But, you know, I just blessed that what we've got, and you look at everything around us, Lee, and, you know, we're not that bad off compared to some others. So, you know, we're thankful for that, and we just need to, you know, do the best we can to come out of this restrictions and stuff, you know, with you know, just a smile, and keep you know, speaking to people, because that's when opportunities come along. So
very true. And I think it's, you know, testament to yourself. Resilience is a big word. Yeah. You know, keeping a hold. My father used to say it all the time: keep a hold, son, keep going. Just keep pushing through it. Keep getting to where you want to be, and surround yourself with the right people, which you have been doing.
Yeah.
And I think we're all challenged with the time balance that we've got now with family and work and family. We're now getting to a stage where I think a lot of people are going, wow, okay, I've got a bit more time to spend at home. I can balance it out a bit better. You know, to give a bit more people more quality of life. And being able to do that a lot more. So it's giving people a lot more space to do it. And there's been challenges, which I respect. But again, the people that you have around you will support you, will help you, and keeping a hold.
But I think the big thing is that it's been able to, some businesses have transitioned better than the others. But what it's given me is more of a perspective of, how can we tap into other resources now that people can work from home as well, Lee? And, you know, recruitment's totally changed in terms of sort of how it is. You know, no longer do people have to go on site for an interview. They can have a Zoom call, a Teams call. It's just totally transformed recruitment. Now, me personally, would I be able to go and, you know, target clients in Houston or Dubai from Aberdeen? I probably could, but I would need to go on a flight to Houston to meet them. Whereas now I've got contractors in Dubai and other places around the world, in Norway and places like that, that pre-lockdown or COVID, they would never have come to Rose Recruitment. So it's opened the world up for recruiters in the right way. So yeah, for us, it's, you know, the world's our oyster, really. We don't have to just contain ourselves with like sort of Scotland, Lee, or, you know.
I think that's a big point to put on there, Darren, as well as we're talking today. It's the and I've spoken about this quite regularly, is that the geography, the boundary is being blown away completely globally now. And it's true what you say. Before, we had the travel aspect to go into play, either by planes, trains, or automobiles to get to one of your meetings. Whereas now, with a click of a button, you can be somewhere else at the other side of the world, speaking to somebody in Dubai or South Africa, or speaking to somebody in Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada, all over the world, that you can start chatting to people. So I 100% agree with you on that one. Thank you so much for sharing your journey today. It's been great to hear where you are, where you've been, what you've achieved, and what you're aiming for. But what's around the corner for Rose Recruitment? What's the next step for you, Darren? What's just around that corner of knocking on the door?
What we're up to, yeah. So I think, well, one thing was that we just launched a new website. So yeah, please go on and have a wee look and see what you think. But that opens up a whole variety of different things for us, because it means that candidates can register on there, but companies can, you know, speak to us if they've got specific recruitment needs and stuff, Lee. So that the website is definitely one that's been pivotal to us, and we've built it the way that we wanted to build it. So it's taken a wee bit of time. But I think for us, we've got new offices and stuff in better locations from where we were. So we're kind of pointing that direction. We're engaging with local universities to get placement students, just to get some fresh ideas and mix things up, Lee. We're part of this new Kickstart scheme, so we're hoping to get somebody in pretty soon. But overall, as a business, we're looking for, once our clients are back, which they are now, but they will start to ramp up, is we're looking at Glasgow in a big way, Lee. Glasgow will become one of our big hubs. And then from there, we'll look at Edinburgh, Manchester, basically wherever we can go next. But I think the business will then transform into maybe more of a franchisee model. And so we will look at that platform probably in the next couple of years and try and engage with people who maybe want to come on board and see us as a good opportunity, because they'll pick up business, Lee, that we've got clients, multinational clients up in Aberdeen and Glasgow, Edinburgh, and we can just switch them on at a heartbeat and say, we're in Manchester, we're in Leeds, we're in here. This is who you need to speak to, blah, blah, blah. So it's just that opportunity. We need to connect with the right people, hence why, we do these things and we go and speak to people, and, hopefully people say, I like him, I could work with him, he's a bit, we have fun and things like that, but they're professional on the same side. But yeah, I think it's just that's where we're looking at to stabilize things, grow Aberdeen, and move the business into like a 10 million, 15 million pound business, so that we can get to a steady state. And I don't think we're far away from that. I think there's a lot to be done, but the contracts and stuff that we've signed over lockdown and stuff, they're big things that will just grow exponentially across the UK and into sort of foreign waters as well. So that's kind of what we are looking to do.
Brilliant. Absolutely super. And I wish you all the very best for the endeavours that you're doing. You're going in the right track. You're moving forward in the right way, Darren. So congratulations. And like I said, I wish you all the very best. You mentioned your website already, which is brilliant. But how else, when everyone's been watching and listening to us today and they've liked what you've heard, what they've heard as well, and what you've said, but how can they make contact with you after today? How can they organise their virtual cuppa with Darren Aggasild?
Yeah, so there's a variety of different ways, to be fair. So you could, first of all, email me. It's darren@roserecruitment.co.uk. Or you can check me out on LinkedIn, and you'll see that funny photo at the top beside the Aberdeen seaside in the background, which we have to do. So yeah, you can get me through LinkedIn. It's just Darren Aggasild on LinkedIn, or you can just pop in past or give us a phone on 01224 644 449. And then we can take it from there and get that virtual cuppa. We do have a Glasgow number, but you're best just coming through the Aberdeen number just now so that we can organise that sidely. But yeah, LinkedIn or drop me an email. These are the two, because I'm always on there 24/7. We don't sleep in recruitment.
No, you don't, Darren.
No, you don't. No. I've been going. You don't sleep in recruitment. You're always thinking, mate. It's how it is. So.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Darren. And I really appreciate your time today joining us at Revitalise Meets. And I would highly recommend anybody who's watching and listening today looking for that new individual for your business, from hospitality, construction, and many industries. Or if you're looking for that next move, looking for that next opportunity, sourcing a role or career for yourself, make contact with Darren, organise the virtual cuppa, or if you're out of the areas, you can go and grab a cup of coffee. Social distancing is always put into place as well. But make the move, make the opportunity, discover many more in the conversations that you'll have with Darren. So I'll highly recommend that you organise that with Darren today and get it done and dusted straight away. So Darren, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
No problem, Lee. It's been a pleasure, mate.
Thank you. And thank you very much to everybody who's been watching and listening today on the podcast channels and the YouTube channels. Keep your eyes open for the next Revitalise Meets that's coming up soon, where I get the opportunity to meet business owners, business leaders, business entrepreneurs from across the global network. And as always, from me and Darren, keep safe, keep healthy, and as always, remember, keep connecting, everybody. Take care. See you all soon. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.